So, hello guys, my name's Mika. I'm a content planner here at Boom Esports, and today we have our newest member for our Boom Esports team. He is a Valorant analyst that's going to be working with our Valorant team very soon. Please welcome Fede. So, Fede, nice to meet you, man.
Hello everyone.
All right, so first things off, like, how's your day been?
Uh, so far so good.
S-
Just had a very fulfilling lunch.
Okay, what you eat?
Beef bulgogi rice.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm just gonna get right to it. Okay, so first things I'd like to talk about is about your humble beginnings back in Counter-Strike. I kind of knew that you started your professional career somewhere at 2021, playing for Dark
21.
Horse. 21.
2018, 2017
Ah,
actually
okay.
when I started being active.
Ah, okay. So you started playing for Dark Horse first, right? That was your first
Uh,
professional experience?
Not really. First one was Fallout Gaming, which
Fallout
is
Gaming.
currently known as the gaming company.
Uh-huh.
After
Okay.
that, I went to China, like 1-2 team for a spin. Then I came back and joined Dark Horse.
Ah, I see. Okay. So maybe you could probably shed some light into how your career started. Like, what was your story back then? What was it like?
I think it's pretty ordinary. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so back then, like when I was in high school, I don't have my own PC.
Oh.
So when I went to college, the typical excuse telling your parents like I need a PC to do assignments and stuff. So I got my own laptop back then. Then I just started playing Counter Strike. I think I'm pretty competitive as a person, so I got hooked to competition most of the time, and including CS:GO. So I just started going LANs and stuff, and I felt like, oh, I'm actually not that bad at this game. So yeah, FPS game is a very fun genre to me.
So what was your reason for making your transition from CS:GO to Valorant? Like, what's the difference in games? Like, which was more interesting to you?
I think both Valorant and CS:GO have their own advantage and disadvantage. Both are very different games to me, although they are both like FPS. Uh, since back in the CS:GO days, I've always wanted to play a game where abilities are involved. So every patch you have different metas and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like pretty envious of the Dota players where they can always play different kind of like they have different kind of gameplays when in different patches. So when Valorant came in, I was like, oh, this is it. Like people are forced to adapt to different metas like every different patch now. So I feel like this is a great game actually.
Ah, I see. Okay. So, but then I'd say the big difference between your jump here is that, like, in Valorant, you didn't play as a professional player. Instead, you play as a coach. So, um, could you probably tell me, like, what were some of the new experiences you made, like, um, being different from a player to now as a coach for Team SMG back then?
Transitioning from player to coach, I guess. The things I do involves like leading the players more. Like
Mm-hmm.
even though back then in my teams I was the captain and stuff, even IGLing.
Mm-hmm.
So the work I do actually they're kind of similar. Like you have to lead the team, you have to prepare all the training stuff and such, except you have to deal with management more this time.
I'd say, okay, I see. Would you say that you're better as a player or better as a coach?
In Valorant, I'm not sure because I haven't tried being a player. My
Say,
plan was to become a player, but uh, when Valorant first came out, my wrist was hurting really bad. Then I took a year break,
mm,
and in year two, my plan was to actually go back to being as a player. But
mhm.
I don't see any team right now that has a slot available.
I see. Okay. So, next question. You joined Boom now, not as a coach now, but as a Valorant analyst. So, what I'd like to know is what kind of expectations can you bring into the team? So, like, what are some of the things that you're gonna be doing as an analyst that might be somewhat different to being as a coach?
I think main point of being an analyst is to dissect how your own team play
Mm-hmm.
and how your opponent plays. Like, uh, main job here is to help out the coach Mel
Mm-hmm.
to help him spot like mistakes and weakness or things that we can strengthen our make good use to it to make it our advantage in tournament. Uh, it's mainly here to reduce the workload from the main coach and help him
Ah,
on the tactical stuff side of stuff.
I see. So personally, like, have you ever watched some of Boom playing in some of our playing in some tournaments lately?
In the recent one, no, because I was having my own holiday. Like
Ah,
until
okay.
recently, after I joined, it's like yeah, I started watching a few.
I see. So, what I'd like to know is what are some of the how do you feel about the form that Boom Esports currently have right now? And what do you think about the Valorant scene in Asia is like at the moment?
I think Boom is considered top three in Southeast Asia
Okay.
in terms of Valorant. And did you just ask like how is the Valorant doing in Southeast Asia?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think compared to CS:GO, I think esports for Valorant here is booming.
Mm-hmm.
The support from Riot is actually very nice. I think it's very healthy for the scene here, the local scene. It's not just Indonesia, but also other smaller regions. Like they acknowledge regions like Vietnam or this, which CS:GO doesn't do. Yeah. So the support system is here, so people can actually make a living out of it.
Could you probably talk about some of the main problems that this region might have at the moment, and what do you think you can do to fix it?
You mean like Indonesia?
Yeah, Indonesia as a general.
Uh, in terms of the FPS scene, I think there are a few pro teams already, but I think the wait, I think one thing about the Indonesia scene is they swap players around very often. So I
Ah,
hope
okay.
to see teams like holding, like keeping the same five for at least a season, like a one whole year or stuff, instead of like changing throughout the season constantly.
Okay, so you think like developing team chemistry is much more better than just swapping out players who are generally like better? Would you think that?
Uh, it's actually depending on the case, but
Mm-hmm.
I prefer having like five fixed player throughout the season
I
to
see.
not ruin the chemistry and stuff.
I see. Okay. Interesting.
So
Have you have you been familiarizing yourself with some of our players? You know, we have Blaze King, Berserks, Flips, Tebotol, and Frostmine. Could you probably talk about like how their play style is like at the moment?
currently, I just joined them for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, from what I see currently, team has really good potential, like good aimers and stuff, which is the basic you need to form a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, tactical wise, Mel is doing a really good job, so I'm just here to like enhance and touch up on the stuff to make it better and better.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, I'd like to talk more about you. So, general question, what would be like your main motivation to work as an analyst here? Like, what drives you to be to deliver?
uh since since when I was young, like when
Mm-hmm.
I was playing sports, I just prefer to play the support role, and I see this as a support role that I can help people shine in their own field, like to make them perform better and stuff. So this is my main source of motivation, and I don't see this role any different from being a coach or IGL. Like I'm still helping them develop their tactical stuff. So I think it's pretty much what I'm good at. So yeah, so I
Okay,
took up the offer from Mel.
could you probably clarify on that? Say like, what would you think is the difference between someone who's great in their role and someone who's outstanding?
Uh, great is just like you can do what you expect him to do, but outstanding is something like he can perform something that you cannot imagine, like just randomly pop off and do insane crazy stuff that
Mm-hmm.
helps you wins around. Like just give you an example, like when you see a player like Simple in CSGO, this
Yeah,
guy is like
yeah.
very amazing. He's very different from the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So players like this that can clutch most of the time is very impressive, I feel.
Um, could you probably talk about more about your philosophy in life that might translate to how you would tackle some of these problems, like general problems that the teams might face? Like, what's your philosophy in life that might help you?
Uh, I'm a hardcore grinder
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to like all
Okay.
this kind of team practice stuff.
Awesome.
So I just believe in reward. The more hard work you put in, the more rewards you get. So there's no free meal in this world. So everything you have to work for it.
I see. So, next question. What would you think is better? Would you think that a person who asks a lot of questions is better, or do you need to be the person that kind of settles for what you already know?
No, you always have to learn more in this. In life, you're always learning, constantly learning. So I don't think someone should settle for where they are right now. So yeah, everyone is improving no matter what they are doing, be it gaming, studying, or working. Like develop your own skills is very important, I feel.
Okay. I'd like to talk about your experiences playing for outside teams. Like you said before when you were playing in CS:GO, you played for teams in China, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think is gonna be new playing working with an Indonesian team specifically?
Currently, so far, what I experience here is pretty similar. Like because Mel used to coach in Team Master in CS:GO,
Mm-hmm.
so he's pretty similar to how the China teams practice and stuff. So when I just joined, I saw the schedule is pretty similar to what the China teams used to do back then. Like
Mm-hmm.
they stream multiple times per day because it's a full time team. So we start practice around 2 to 3 p.m. Then we just dry run, scream, 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 and scream.
Hmm. Interesting. Do you think that your your routine outside of the game as well plays like an important aspect to the players?
Yeah, we have to definitely balance between lifestyle and in game. But
Hmm.
when it comes to boot camping, we have to devote ourselves fully into Valorant. But outside of boot camp, I think a healthy work-life balance is very important.
I see. Okay. Awesome. So, personally, I'd like to ask you, um, have you ever experienced some type of failure in your life, and what kind of lessons have you learned from that?
Uh, I think whenever I come across all these like challenge, I don't really see it as a bad thing. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, maybe I failed this time, but I'm sure we can do it better next time. There's always the next time.
Okay. So, what do you think would make you the happiest in working with Boom?
Qualifying to our first international land.
Awesome. Okay. So, next question. I'd like to know more about what would you like to do in probably the next 2 or 3 years. Do you see yourself working with Boom Esports in the next 2 to 3 years, considering like how our projection is right now?
Mm, For the next 2 or 3 years, I can't guarantee anything, but
Hmm.
I know if anything, this full season I'm fully committed to Boomi Sports.
Okay, awesome. So, personally, you play a lot of Valorant, right? What's your rank?
Radiant.
Already? Okay. Who's your main?
I main Sentinel and all the support agents like Sage, all these.
Oh, so mostly like support players, right?
Yeah, all the Sentinels and supports.
Ah, okay.
Like I said, I love supporting people. I don't like to be the one shining out there.
Okay, well, that's pretty much it for now. Well, I just want to say thank you for taking this interview, and I hope that your work with Boom Esports is really gonna level us up into the international stage. And I really hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You
Th-
too.
yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.